So, Dr. Vedam, we live in a free world where anyone can have any opinion or judgment, even when it comes to the study of history. However, you've established some original and groundbreaking pedagogy learning entirely based on evidential materials. Can you talk about how your perspectives on Indian history are not opinions, but far more fundamental?
A very good question. When we examine the narratives that are present out there, it is incumbent on us to ask how did these narrations come about? In other words, the historiography of these methods. In doing so, we look at the people who came ahead of us to write the history of India and ask what was the data they used? What were the methods they followed? What kind of models did they use? What were the claims that they made? And do those claims follow from those methodologies that they followed. And finally, today, if we find data that is contrary to the models they have used, then we have to have a red flag go up and ask, why is there a discrepancy? Why does your model not admit this data out here? For example, in the past, people have used a linguistic model that is primarily held up to talk about the Aryan invasion or Aryan migration. The primary methodology is that of linguistics and to a lesser extent that of archaeology. And what we have seen is linguistics has developed in a manner so as to support a notion of Aryan invasion and or the migration. That is what we see over here. And archaeology also has been marshaled and put in a way that it's the facts of archaeology are being interpreted in this particular manner. So I think what I'm trying to do over here is trying to take the facts as they arise from various fields, whether it is in the scriptural evidence, whether it is in genetics, whether it is in climatology, archaeology, or many other fields, including archaeoastronomy, and trying to see where do all these narratives converge. Is there a common theory that will accommodate all of these data that we see over here? And if we can find one that maximally fits this data, then we can probably say with some logic, rationality, and looking at the evidence that here is where the reality probably is. And that is what I'm doing. I'm critiquing the methods that people have advanced, especially in the places where the methodology does not fit the data. And one example is the chronology of India as evident from the internal evidence of scriptures and archaeoastronomy is not supported by the linguistic model that requires Aryans to be in India in 1500 BC. That's one such example. How do you deal with that? You deal with these kind of issues by trying to deconstruct those models, deconstruct the linguistic model, deconstruct the claims, and show here are the problems, and then show that with this evidence that I have, there is a different model, and that model, methodology, data is giving us a different set of claims. So this is what I'm doing over here.